Okay, so good evening everyone, very good evening. Good evening all of you and welcome to the YouTube channel of Knowell Bell. I am Akshata and welcome to our live sessions जहाँ पे हम preparation कर रहे हैं for your SAINIK School and Rashtriya Military School entrance exam. So before starting, quickly let me know my voice is clear and screen भी clear है सभी को. Khushwant is there. Hello Khushwant, how are you? Okay, Raman, you are also here. So yes, hello Raman. Yes, I remember. You're ready for the class with your notebook. Okay. Okay, so let us get started. Just give me a minute, okay? I'll check whether voice is clear or not. And इसके बाद हम start करते हैं. Scientific devices जो हम पढ़ रहे थे, उसको हम continue करते हैं. Okay. Okay, so voice is clear. Voice clear है. Yes, Raman, I also checked it right now only. And the voice is clear. Okay. So let us get started. Yesterday we were discussing about scientific devices and हम काफी details में topic को discuss कर रहे हैं because right now you have time, you can afford to study the things in detail ताकि उससे associated कहीं से भी question आए, you will be able to do it. So yesterday we completed off with a total of 10 scientific devices. Rest of others we are going to do in today's class and कल हम इसके questions करेंगे. So tomorrow's class would be like a questionnaire. Okay. Hello Aruhi, how are you? Okay. So everyone take out your notebooks and get started and give the heading. Okay. Scientific devices we are discussing about. कल हमने कुछ scientific devices के बारे में study किया था, main important ones, and today's scientific devices are also important. So we will be discussing about it. Okay, so let us get started. 11th scientific device everyone we have to discuss about is, okay, that is rain gauge. 11th scientific devices about which we have to discuss is rain gauge. Next scientific device जिसके बारे में हम study कर रहे हैं, the device is known by the name of rain gauge. So this device, it is very simple to keep in mind the use of rain gauge. क्यों simple है? Have a look. In rain gauge we have used which term? We have used the term rain. हमने कौन सा term use किया है rain gauge में? In rain gauge we have used the term rain. So it is very easy for us to predict from here that what can be the use of rain gauge. यहाँ से हम बहुत easily predict कर सकते हैं what can be the use of rain gauge. So we have to keep in mind, okay, rain gauge is used for what purpose? It is used to measure amount of rainfall. Why we use rain gauge? Rain gauge is used to measure amount of rainfall. Okay, why we are using rain gauge? Rain gauge, you have to keep in mind, it is used to measure amount of rainfall. कितना rainfall हो रहा है? For example, sometimes we say it's a cloud burst, बादल फट गया, या फिर भी हम कहते हैं कि बारिश के कारण कई इलाकों में बाढ़ आती है. So how we get to know कि कहीं पर बारिश बहुत ज़्यादा हो रही है, कहीं पे कम हो रही है? Obviously, we can see it by looking at the intensity of rain. But the meteorologist, मौसम वैज्ञानिक, उनको कैसे पता चलता है? They use this device rain gauge. Rain gauge हमको बताता है what quantity or intensity of rain has been there. So rain के लिए हमको क्या देता है? It gives us a numerical value of rain. So this you have to keep in mind. What is the use of rain gauge? Rain gauge is used to measure the amount of rainfall. 12th device we will keep in mind is anemometer. Okay, what is the next device? The 12th device everyone that we have to keep in mind is anemometer. Okay, anemo. Once again, have a look. What word is there? Anemometer में कौन सा word use है? Meter is common to a lot of devices. Which word is there in anemometer? In anemometer we have the word anemo. Which word is there? In anemometer we have used the word anemo. And what is the meaning of anemo? Anywhere in the English language when you will find the word anemo, so the meaning of word anemo is wind. Okay, the meaning of word anemo is wind. So what can be the use of anemometer? Anemo का क्या मतलब है? Anemo means wind. So what is the use of anemometer? Anemometer is used for what purpose? It is used to measure speed and direction of wind. Why do we use anemometer? It is used to measure speed and direction of wind. Speed and direction हम किसका मेजर करते हैं? It is used to measure speed and direction of विंड मतलब जो हवा है उसका स्पीड और डायरेक्शन, ओके, दैट इज मेजर्ड विद द हेल्प ऑफ एनीमोमीटर. नाउ एग्जामिनर्स आर वेरी स्मार्ट, वो हमेशा ट्राई करेंगे, दे विल ट्राई टू ट्रिक यू. तो एग्जाम में हो सकता है इंस्टेड ऑफ स्पीड एंड डायरेक्शन आर टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स. सो इट कैन हैपन दैट इन एग्जाम इंस्टेड ऑफ स्पीड एंड डायरेक्शन व्हाट इज कंबाइनली गिवन टू यू, वेलोसिटी. ओके, हो सकता है कि स्पीड एंड डायरेक्शन आपको अलग अलग ना देके दे विल कंबाइनली गिव यू अ टर्म वेलोसिटी. सो इन दैट केस वेलोसिटी विल बी द आंसर. तो एनीमोमीटर के लिए आप याद रखेंगे या तो ये क्या मेजर करेगा, इट विल मेजर द स्पीड एंड डायरेक्शन ऑफ विंड. और स्पीड एंड डायरेक्शन को इस साथ में जब हम लेते हैं then it is called as velocity. You will study about it in higher classes, okay? So at this point you have to keep in mind it is used to measure what? It is used to measure the speed and intensity of wind or velocity of wind, okay? Sometimes एक और question यहाँ पूछा जाता है सैनिक स्कूल में mainly from the topic of seasons and climate. What is the meaning of wind? Wind का मतलब क्या होता है? When we are saying it's windy, a lot of wind is blowing there. So what is the meaning of wind? Wind का मतलब क्या होता है? So you have to keep in mind what is the meaning of wind? Moving air. Okay, जो moving air होती है, ऐसी हवा जो move कर रही है, that moving air is called as wind. What is the meaning of wind? Moving air is called as wind. Okay, अभी तो ये आपको लग रहा है that what is ma'am telling, this is so simple, all of us know that हवा जो move करती है वो wind होती है, but this is very very important. Okay, बहुत simple है, आपको question आते हैं एग्जाम्स में, आप previous year के पेपर्स देखिए, the questions are simple, they are conceptual. आप हर क्वेश्चन याद करके अटेम्प्ट नहीं कर सकते. आरएमएस के क्वेश्चंस डेफिनेटली ऐसे होते हैं जहाँ पे आपको चीजों को याद करना है एंड नॉलेज को वहाँ पे अप्लाई करना है. But for SAINIK school entrance exam, if you look through the questions, they involve application based questions. तो जब आप पढ़ रहे हो तो पढ़ते समय चीजों का मतलब समझो. ओके, जब आप चीजों का मतलब समझोगे तो कोई एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आएगा, यू विल बी एबल टू सॉल्व इट. ओके, करेक्ट रमन. मूविंग एयर इज कॉल्ड दिस विंड. विंड क्या होता है? मूविंग एयर. मूविंग एयर को हम क्या कहते हैं? मूविंग एयर इज कॉल्ड एज wind. Okay, the 13th device after this we have got is thermostat. Okay, the 13th device, the next device we have after this is thermostat. What is the use of thermostat? You remember हमने एक device पढ़ा था, the device was thermometer. कल की क्लास में जो पहला device हमने discuss किया था, the first device was what? The first device was thermometer only. Here we have thermostat. In both of them you have a look. What term is common? Thermo. यहाँ पे भी देखो क्या कॉमन है? थर्मो. थर्मो टर्म इज कॉमन इन बोथ ऑफ देम. सो थर्मो टर्म हम किस लिए यूज कर रहे हैं? वी आर यूजिंग द टर्म थर्मो फॉर टेम्परेचर. व्हाई वी आर यूजिंग द टर्म थर्मो? टेम्परेचर. थर्मोमीटर मेजर्स टेम्परेचर. थर्मोस्टेट का फंक्शन क्या होता है? थर्मोस्टेट, ओके, is used to control the temperature at a particular point. What is the use of thermostat? Thermostat is used to control the temperature at a particular point. किसी भी particular point voice is there. Abhi, I think voice will be there. It is on. Okay. Okay. Sorry for the interruption, everyone. Now the voice is proper and everything is working perfectly. Yes. अब आ रही है आवाज ना. ओके. तब पहले नहीं आ रही थी आवाज. राइट. नाउ द वॉइस इज देयर. यस. सो वी वर डिस्कसिंग. एक बार फिर से मैं आपको जो है थर्मोस्टैट एक्सप्लेन कर देती हूँ. व्हाई डू वी यूज थर्मोस्टैट? थर्मोस्टैट इज यूज्ड टू कंट्रोल द टेम्परेचर एट अ पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट. तो जब हम माइक्रोवेव यूज करते हैं, लेट्स से इन माइक्रोवेव यू वांट टू बेक अ केक, आपको केक बेक करना है. So you will set a particular temperature. आप नॉब को टर्न करोगे और what you will do, you will set a particular temperature. Okay. So जो हम नॉब से टेम्परेचर सेट करते हैं वहां पे क्या प्रेजेंट होता है? There is thermostat. Thermostat हमको किसमें हेल्प करता है? Thermostat actually helps us to control the temperature. टेम्परेचर को एक पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पे कंट्रोल करने में क्या हेल्प करता है? थर्मोस्टैट. द सेम वे आपने देखा होगा विंटर्स में कई बार हम वाटर गर्म करने के लिए, पानी गर्म करने के लिए जो हीटिंग आयरन होता है उसको यूज करते हैं, जो रॉड होता है उसमें भी आप देखोगे थर्मोस्टैट होता है. इट हेल्प्स यू टू कंट्रोल द टेम्परेचर. तो किसी भी डिवाइस में जब आप टेम्परेचर को कंट्रोल करते हो, कूलर में आप अपना देखते हो, एसी में यू डू यूज थर्मोस्टैट, यू कंट्रोल द टेम्परेचर ऑफ एसी. So that device is used for what purpose? It is used to control the temperature. तो thermostat आपको याद रखना है. What is the use of thermostat? Thermostat is used to control the temperature at a particular point. Thermo word का मतलब क्या होता है? The word thermo word stands for what? It stands for temperature. Okay, the next device we have is the 14th device that we have is altimeter. Okay, 13th device we have over here is what? It is altimeter. Okay, so scientific devices में the best way to study is कि आप words को देखो and उसमें pick up करो which word is present. When you will try to pick up the words, half of the memorization part gets cancelled there only. Altimeter contains what word? Altimeter में कौन सा word present है? Altimeter contains the word LT. Which word is present in altimeter? Altimeter contains the word LT. LT stands for what? LT stands for altitude. What does LT stands for? LT stands for altitude. Okay, so what is the use of altimeter? हम altimeter क्यों use करते हैं? Altimeter is used to measure altitude. Okay, altimeter हम क्यों use करते हैं? You have to keep in mind why we use it. So altimeter is used to measure altitudes. Okay, altimeter is used to measure altitude. And one more point you have to keep in mind, यहाँ से question ये भी पूछा जा सकता है that in which of the following vehicles or which of the following altimeter is most commonly used. Very commonly altimeter कहाँ use किया जाता है? So very commonly it is used in aircrafts. कहाँ पर हम use करते हैं altimeter को? Altimeter is very commonly used in aircrafts. Okay, so this you have to keep. Yes, LT stands for what? LT stands for altitude and altimeter को हम कहाँ पे use करते हैं? We use it in aircraft. Now, a question is there in front of us that what is the meaning of altitude? Altitude हमने कहा तो, but what is the meaning of altitude? So you have to keep in mind what is the meaning of altitude. Altitude stands for height of anything taken from sea level. Okay, whenever we take height of anything taken from sea level. Okay, whenever you take height of anything from the sea level, जब आप sea level से किसी भी चीज की height measure करते हैं, so that height is called as what? That is called as altitude. Okay, sea के level से, क्योंकि वो देखिए there are many seas, there are many oceans, so सब जगह water का जो level होता है, the level of water stays same. So when you measure the height from sea level, because ground का जो level है, कहीं पे plains है, so it will be at the depth, कहीं पे plateaus है, so plateaus will be little higher. So best way to measure the height of a mountain, to measure the height of a plateau, is to measure the height through sea level. So जब भी हम sea level से height measure करते हैं, that height is called as altitude. And sea level को हम हमेशा क्या consider करते हैं? You have to keep in mind, sea level is taken as 0. Sea level को हम हमेशा क्या लेते हैं? You have to keep it in mind very clearly. Sea level is always taken as 0. Correct. Height of anything taken from sea level, Raman, दैट इज एल्टीट्यूड. ओके, एंड सी लेवल को हम हमेशा क्या लेंगे? सी लेवल को हम हमेशा 0 लेते हैं. सो 0 से ऊपर, सी लेवल से ऊपर जब भी आप हाइट को मेजर करोगे, दैट इज एल्टीट्यूड. एंड एल्टीट्यूड को मेजर कौन करता है? इट इज मेजर्ड विद द हेल्प ऑफ अ डिवाइस altimeter, and altimeter is present in where? It is present in aircraft. Generally it is used in aircraft. Okay, 15th device we have to keep in mind is sphygmomanometer. Okay, the 15th device you have to keep in mind is sphygmomanometer. ओके, स्पाइग्मोमैनोमीटर. स्पाइग्मोमैनोमीटर बहुत ही कॉमनली आप में से काफी स्टूडेंट्स के घर पर भी ये मशीन होगी. कॉमनली दिस मशीन इज कॉल्ड blood pressure measuring machine. Okay, very commonly what do we call this machine? This machine is called as blood pressure measuring मशीन. इस मशीन को हम क्या कहते हैं? वी कॉल दिस मशीन एज ब्लड प्रेशर मेजरिंग मशीन. ये मशीन क्या मेजर करते हैं? इट मेजर्स ब्लड प्रेशर. सो इफ एट योर होम you have grandparents, so definitely okay, it might be there are very high chances कि आपके घर पे ये बीपी मेजर करने की मशीन होगी. ब्लड प्रेशर को हम कहते हैं बीपी. So what does sphygmomanometer do? Sphygmomanometer measures blood pressure. ये क्या करता है? Sphygmomanometer measures the blood pressure. क्या मेजर करता है ये? इट मेजर्स द ब्लड प्रेशर. ब्लड प्रेशर को ही हम क्या कहते हैं? वी कॉल इट BP. So sphygmomanometer, what is the use of sphygmomanometer? It is used to measure blood pressure or it is used to measure BP. Now for the students who are mainly targeting for RMS, उनको ये बात बहुत अच्छे से ध्यान में रखनी है that what is the normal blood pressure of human beings. What is the normal blood pressure of humans? The normal blood pressure of humans you have to keep in mind is okay 120/80 mm of Hg. What is the normal blood pressure of human beings? It is 120/80 mm of Hg. Hg अगर आपने last session attend किया था, that was yesterday, so you will recall what is Hg. हमने thermometer में study किया था that Hg stands for what? Hg stands for mercury. Hg का मतलब क्या है? Hg stands for what? Hg stands for mercury. So mercury आपका thermometer में भी present होता है. In sphygmomanometer also mercury is used, and we also discussed that mercury is only metal, only liquid metal at room temperature. Okay, mercury is only liquid metal at room टेम्परेचर. रूम टेम्परेचर पे सिर्फ यही अकेला मेटल है जो लिक्विड फॉर्म में होता है. यस, मरकरी, करेक्ट, रिमेंबर. ओके, इट इज द ओनली मेटल दैट इज एट लिक्विड फॉर्म एट रूम टेम्परेचर. रेस्ट जितने भी मेटल हैं दे आर प्रेजेंट इन सॉलिड फॉर्म. सो व्हाट इज स्फाइग्मोमैनोमीटर? इट इज यूज्ड टू मेजर ब्लड प्रेशर. जनरली हम इन लेमन्स टर्म, इन आवर नॉर्मल टर्म वी कॉल इट blood pressure measuring machine. What is the use of sphygmomanometer? It measures the blood pressure of human being generally, या कोई another organism भी measure कर सकते हैं. RMS and RIMC के लिए हम ध्यान रखेंगे. What is the normal blood pressure of human being? 120/80 mm of Hg. Hg का मतलब क्या है? Hg means mercury, and mercury is the only liquid metal at room temperature. Okay, the 16th device that we have to keep in mind after this is you should know that is okay. हमने अभी तक क्या डिस्कस कर लिया? स्फाइग्मोमैनोमीटर डिस्कस हो गया, कोई रिपीट तो नहीं हो रहा है. थर्मोस्टेट, अल्टीमीटर, रेन गेज एंड एनीमोमीटर. Okay, the next device you will keep in mind is endoscope. Okay, the next device is endoscope. Endoscope is the next device that we have to keep in mind. Okay, so once again यहाँ पे देखिए हमने क्या term use किया? We use the term endo, and in English language endo means internal. What is the meaning of endo in English language? Endo means internal. Endo का मतलब क्या होता है? Endo means internal. So what is the meaning of endoscope? क्या use है endoscope का? Endoscope आपको ध्यान रखना है. It is used to measure and it is used to examine the internal organs of the body. Okay, what is the use of endoscope? Endoscope is used to examine internal organs of the body. It is used to examine the internal organs of the body. हमारी body के जो internal organs होते हैं, okay, like liver, stomach, intestine, okay, so उनको observe करने के लिए, if there is any internal injury and you have to went to a doctor, you have an internal ulcer, किसी को internal injury है, कोई डॉक्टर के पास जाएगा, so how will doctors get to know internally injury कहाँ पे? They will use the device endoscope. वो कौन सा device use करेंगे? They will be using this device endoscope. And what does endoscope helps us to know? Endoscope helps us to examine the internal organs of the body. तो endoscope को generally कौन use करता है? It is, you have to keep in mind, used by doctors. Who use endoscope? Endoscope is used by doctors. Doctors use करते हैं endoscope को to examine the internal organs of the body. Okay. Next device after this we have is the 17th one, that is microscope. Okay, the next device is microscope. So once again have a look. Again we will break out the term. आप लोगों को लगेगा थोड़ा that this is getting repeated. We are breaking out the terms multiple times, but this is the best way to study. आप जब तक terms को नहीं समझोगे, आपको चीजें याद करनी पड़ेंगी. But when you will try to understand terms, it's easier. आपको याद बिल्कुल नहीं करना पड़ेगा. आप चीजों को समझोगे, okay? And to understand is more important than mugging up. Microscope contains the term micro. Okay, micro means what? Micro means small. Microscope contains which term? Microscope contains the term micro. Micro means small. And we have another term. The term is macro. एक और term है हमारे पास macro. Macro is antonym of large. Macro का मतलब होता है large. And what is the meaning of micro? Microscope is used to, correct, Raman, you have provided the answer. It is used to see microorganisms. So micro means small and macro means large. Correct. Your answer is right, Raman. So microscope. Why do we use microscope? Microscope is used to observe microorganisms. Okay, microscope is used to observe what? It is used to observe microorganisms. Microorganisms को हम observe करने के लिए, उनको देखने के लिए किसका use करते हैं? We use microscope. Okay, so here you have a term microorganisms. हमारे पास एक new term है यहाँ पे. Considering if you are just starting the preparation, we have a new term microorganisms. So you should know what is the meaning of microorganisms. Microorganisms का मतलब क्या होगा? Micro means small. Okay, so such small, tiny organisms. Okay, what are microorganisms? Such small, tiny organisms that are not visible through our eyes. That are not visible through our naked eyes. Such small, tiny organisms are referred to as microorganisms. The small, tiny organisms which are not at all visible through our naked eyes, उनको हम क्या बोलेंगे? We will be calling such organisms as microorganisms. Okay? तो microorganisms से आपको कई questions पूछे जाते हैं. Entirely we have a chapter dealing with microbial disease, जिसके बारे में हम study करते हैं. 4 kind of microorganisms you keep in mind are there. The first one is bacteria. Bacteria is a microorganism, like we studied lactobacillus yesterday. Second, we have virus. Viruses are a microorganism. Which is the next microorganism we have? We have fungi. Fungi are microorganisms. And you keep in mind protozoa. Protozoa are also microorganisms. So these 4 microorganisms you have to keep in mind, and we will discuss about them and study about them in more detail in a chapter dealing with microbial disease. Microbial disease में हम पूरा ही study करते हैं microorganisms के बारे में. So right now you just keep in mind bacteria, virus, fungi and protozoa. Okay, that is microorganisms. After this we have the 18th device. Okay, what is the 18th device? The 18th device is periscope. Okay, the 18th device is periscope. Why do we use periscope? Periscope is used to see objects above sea level. Okay, it is used to see what? It is used to see objects above sea level. और कहाँ पे periscope use होता है? This is very important. It is used in submarines. हम कहाँ पे periscope use करते हैं? Periscope is mainly used in submarines. Why do we use periscope? Periscope is used to see objects above sea level. So here you have a look. For example, you have submarine. Okay, underwater submarine is there, and submarines हमेशा कहाँ होते हैं? Submarines are always there under the water. So if a submarine is there and the people inside of submarine want to know that what is happening on the surface of the sea, ठीक है, surface पे क्या हो रहा है, कोई ship तो नहीं आ रही है, is there any enemy or not, they want to see this. So what they will use? They will use this device called periscope. So periscope will come something like this on the surface. It will turn like this and it will have a lens over here like this. So people inside of submarine with the help of periscope वो यहाँ से देख पाएंगे कि surface के ऊपर क्या हो रहा है. Okay, very easily they will be able to see. So this device is called as periscope. What is the use of periscope? Periscope is used to see the objects above sea level. Sea level के ऊपर जो objects हैं, शिप हो गया, बर्ड हो गए, कोई एनिमी तो नहीं आ रहा है जो सबमरीन के लिए डेंजरस हो. All of this, how they will get to know? They will get to know with the help of periscope. Okay. Next device is the 19th one, that is telescope. Next is the device that is telescope. Telescope, I assume many of you already know what is the meaning of telescope and telescope हम क्यों use करते हैं. Okay. But on Telegram, Raman. Okay, this is the same name. On Telegram, I'll share the PDF. अगर आप Telegram पे connect नहीं कर पा रहे हो, so just do one thing. Okay, आपको I understand you need notes. So अगर आप Telegram पे नहीं search कर पा रहे हो, so what you do is just WhatsApp me on this number. I will give you the link for the Telegram channel. Okay, this is my number. आप मुझे इस पे WhatsApp कर सकते हो. I'll give you the link for Telegram. वहाँ से डेली जो क्लासेस हो रहे हैं उसके नोट्स आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. एंड वंस वी विल फिनिश अ चैप्टर, जैसे आज हमने साइंटिफिक डिवाइसेस फिनिश करेंगे, कल इसके क्वेश्चंस करेंगे. सो टुमारो ऑन द वेबसाइट, ओके, वी विल हैव अ टेस्ट. सो आई विल अपलोड अ टेस्ट ऑन द वेबसाइट. तो वो टेस्ट आप, दैट विल बी फ्री टेस्ट. यू जस्ट हैव टू गो ऑन द वेबसाइट, क्लिक ऑन द स्टार्ट टेस्ट और टेस्ट आप वहाँ पे अपीयर कर सकते हो. ओके, सो फॉर नोट्स यू मैसेज मी ऑन द नंबर एंड देन आई विल शेयर द लिंक विद यू. वहाँ से आप रेगुलरली जाकर नोट्स ले सकते हो. ओके, कि कुछ पार्ट स्किप हो रहा है, so you will be able to complete it. Okay, so next we have is telescope. What is the use of telescope? Telescope is used to see distant objects. Okay, why do we use telescope? Telescope is used to see distant objects. Where do we see distant objects using telescope? In space or sky. Space or sky. Like if someone wants to see stars, someone wants to see the rings of Saturn, किसी planet के rings देखने हैं, stars को देखना है, you want to observe constellations. So how we will observe this? We will observe all these using the device called telescope. Telescope को use करते हुए हम क्या करेंगे? With the help of telescope, we will be able to see the objects above the sea level. उसके लिए आप periscope याद रखेंगे. And for telescope, you will be able to see the distant objects in space and sky. Space and sky में जो distant objects हैं उनको हम कैसे observe करेंगे? We will observe it with the help of telescope. Next device we have is binoculars. Okay, which is the next device? Next device we have is binoculars. Binoculars क्या करता है? Binoculars is used to see distant objects. Binoculars मतलब हिंदी में हम कहते हैं दूरबीन. What is the use of binoculars? Binoculars used to see distant objects. हमारे eye level पे, हमारे surface पे जो objects हैं जो बहुत दूर है, वहाँ पे उनको देखने के लिए हम binoculars का use करते हैं. Like for bird watching, अगर आप कभी zoo में जा रहे हो, you are going wildlife safari, spot some animals, we use binoculars. The same way when people go into the stadiums to watch match or any another stuff, they use binoculars to spot the favorite place. So binoculars. What is the use of binoculars? Binoculars is used to see distant objects. Distant objects को observe करने के लिए, जो दूर के objects हैं उनको observe करने के लिए हम क्या use करते हैं? Binoculars. But at the same time, you have to keep in mind, if you are observing distant objects in space, अगर question कह रहा है distant objects in space, तब आप क्या use कर रहे हो? Telescope. Distant objects above the sea, you are using periscope. but just the distant objects you are using binoculars. So this you have to keep in mind. Yes, for you have to keep in mind telescope in space or sky, periscope above the sea, and binoculars is just for normal purpose. We will be using binoculars. So we have discussed these 20 scientific devices. Now, in tomorrow's class, okay, what we are going to do, we will take at least, let's say, 25 questions we will do, okay, from scientific devices. हम क्या करेंगे? We will be solving 25 questions from scientific devices in tomorrow's class. Okay, so once again, the class will be when? The class will be at 7:30 only. आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हो. एंड साइंटिफिक डिवाइसेस के जो क्वेश्चंस हैं जो हमने पढ़ा है 2 days में, उसकी क्वेश्चंस हम करेंगे. पीडीएफ के लिए रमन, you just contact me on this number. Okay, and after that what we are going to do, we will I'll share the link with you. वहां से आप पीडीएफ ले लेना. एंड कल जब चैप्टर खत्म हो जाएगा तो इसका टेस्ट आई विल अपलोड ऑन वेबसाइट. वहां से आप अप्लाई वेबसाइट के थ्रू टेस्ट इसका अपियर कर सकते हो. ओके, so with this everyone, we will be summing up the class. Next class we will have once again is tomorrow from 7:30 p.m. We'll meet again everyone tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Okay, so bye everyone. Good night and prepare really well. There should be one thought in your mind that you have to score 300 out of 300 marks in SAINIK school. Score ही इतना अच्छा लाना है that you have plentiful of schools in front of you. जो स्कूल हमको चाहिए वो मिलेगा. स्कोर हमको इतना अच्छा करना है. ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि हमको चाहिए कोई और स्कूल था एंड मार्क्स एक दो कम हो गए तो फिर हमको कोई और स्कूल लेना पड़ा. नो, यू शुड हैव सच गुड मार्क्स दैट जो स्कूल आपको चाहिए, नालंदा तो नालंदा, गोपालगंज तो गोपालगंज, जो स्कूल आपको चाहिए वो स्कूल आपको मिलेगा. अदर स्टेट, होम स्टेट, इतना अच्छा स्कोर आपको लेकर आना है. ओके, so with this everyone, we will be summing up our today's session. Bye everyone, good night.